class. So today we're going to read a poem and then talk about rhyming words. So first we're going to read the poem together. It's called Poems, Poet's Tree. Underneath the poet tree, come and rest a while with me, and watch the way the word web weaves between the shady story leaves. The branches of the poet tree reach from the mountains to the sea, so come and dream or come and climb, just don't get hit by falling rhymes. And this poem is by Shel Silverstein. So can anyone tell me what a rhyming word is?
A word that sounds like another word.
Yes, a word that sounds like another word. So one example in here is that tree rhymes with me. Now try to remember that because we're going to do an activity in a minute. So that was a good activity. We just learned that tree rhymes with see and me, rhyme rhymes with climb, and weaves rhymes with leaves. Let's see if we can go back to the poem and find those words in the poem. Underneath the poet tree, come and rest a while with
me.
Good job. Those words rhyme. Heather, can you come up and find more rhyming words in the poem?
Yeah.
How about climb?
Rhymes.
Good job. Climb and rhyme.
I want to do another one.
Okay.
Weaves and leaves. Oops.
Good job, Heather. Sorry. Okay, so let's talk about what this poem means now, because then we're going to answer some questions about the poem in a minute. When they say, underneath the poet tree, come and rest a while with me, do you think they're talking about an actual tree?
Yeah.
You do, and there's even a picture of a tree. When they're talking about and watch the way the word web weaves, do you think they're talking about an actual web or a group of words that are related to each other?
Words.
That are related to each other, right. So sometimes in a poem, words can be talking about actual things, like an actual tree, or they can be talking about things that aren't real, like a word web. They say that there's a web, but they really just are talking about the way that the words are connected.
So now that we've read this poem, and it's talked about a few things like a tree and a word web and leaves and mountains, does anybody want to come up and draw a picture about something that you got from this poem? Oh, Nicolette, here you go. You can change the color if you want.
Yeah.
You know, because like 2 months of one way and then all of a sudden do this other way. There's no way. Okay. There's no way to add more than 10 minutes until the first day of the term. But yeah, I mean.
We're going to pull that on the.
What are your names? Sure. Laurie, Lisa, and Jesse. Most of guys open it? Or is that one? Oh, really?
We don't have control over that.
Oh, yeah, and you know, I mean, I think when Brandon gets back into school, maybe we could, you know, sort all of the logistics out or whatever. We have some one in there. That's fine.
I like the part when it says come and climb. So come and dream or come and climb.
Yeah, all the people are climbing up the mountain, and it might not really be talking about a real mountain or a real tree, but this picture is a good representation of the climbing part. Okay, does somebody else want to come draw a picture?
I do. Okay, I will.
Need to click the pen card.
because it talks about a word web, and so if someone is reading a word web, then there are words in the web and they rhyme. I wrote rug and bug because they are rhyming words.
Good job, Ariel. Those words do rhyme.
Okay, so now we're going to ask some comprehension questions about the poem to see if we can relate it to other things. So one of the questions, what does it mean when it says just don't get hit by falling rhymes? Anyone?
I don't think it really means real falling things. Like, it just means that there are rhymes in poems. But it's not like a real falling thing because rhymes can't really fall. They're not a real thing.
Okay, great. So another thing we can find out from the poem, when we ask, reach from the mountains to the sea, what do we think that that really means? Do you think that they're talking about us actually reaching to the sea, or is that a metaphor?
I think it's a metaphor because poetry can reach all sorts of people, no matter where they are. And so when someone writes a poem, they can influence all sorts of people, and they can live in the mountains, or they can live in the sea, and they can live wherever.
Great answer. And what do you think that it means when it says between the shady story leaves?
I think it means that when you're reading a poem or a story, it takes you somewhere else, and it can take you to a tree, or it can take you to the mountains or the sea. A poem can take you different places.
That's right, and between the shady story leaves, maybe it's relating to reading between the lines and finding new meaning through the text. So great, well, we learned a little more about the poem and what it actually means, and by reading it, you wouldn't think that it's talking about some of the things it does. But from the text, we can ask these comprehension questions and find out more meaning about what it's really talking about.